Welcome to the Embodied CEO Era. I am Meg Basili, and I am so incredibly blessed. I have known Russell Price for a little while now, but in a different container, and I just absolutely love Russell. I love your, not just like the conversations, but I just love your demeanor. You're just such a down-to-earth person, and I really love your energy. So welcome, Russell.
Lovely to be here, Megs. Absolute pleasure. And hi to everyone who's listening or watching.
Listening or watching. Okay, Russell. So for someone meeting you for the first time, how would you describe the work that you do?
Great question. Well, simply put, I am all about changing the nature of work. And the way I do that is with AI, which is kind of the topic du jour. And on a practical level, I help businesses and solopreneurs use AI to get rid of the busy work and all the stuff they don't enjoy so that they can focus on what we're really good at as humans, which is being creative, being intuitive, being imaginative, connecting with other people. And so AI is this incredible tool once you learn how to use it for automating a lot of things in your business. So that, as I said, you can free up your time to be creative or just to spend time doing the things that you enjoy, which interestingly enough filters back into your business in terms of increased creativity, or where you'll get those downloads. And the downloads don't come when you're like sitting at your computer trying to type. They come when you're walking on the beach or in the shower or just spontaneously. And those downloads are actually the real gold. And when we change the nature of work by letting AI do all the repetitive, low value stuff, we get more opportunities to get that inspiration coming through. So that's a long way of saying I help businesses use AI automations to scale.
Yeah, I love that. And I love that you touch base on that because there's so many of us that go, oh my God, I just got the download of a lifetime.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
I know that this is supposed to change the world. This is supposed to change how I do business. This is
hmm
supposed to
hmm
be like this whole big thing. And then
Mm.
they start actioning on it. And a lot of the time when they action things, they start to get in their head
Right. Yes.
and then they start to second guess themselves and then
Uh-huh.
they start
Uh-huh.
to so that cuts that second guessing
Oh,
down.
totally. Yeah, the speed, like I wrote an entire 2 hour presentation the other day while I was walking through the rice paddies. Like I live in Bali, and yeah, I'm a kind of a creative ADHD scatterbrained kind of person, right? So for me to sit down in front of the computer and kind of type things out in a logical fashion, one into the other, just drives me insane. But, for the example, I was walking, so I love walking, and I was just kind of talking into my phone a whole bunch of, I knew all the thoughts were there and I was just blabbing them out as they came. There was no particular order, but I knew they were all important. And at the end, I was able to basically throw that into AI. I knew what I wanted to manifest, which was this talk. And I basically said, can you take all of these thoughts, put them into some kind of structured order for my audience who is X, Y, and Z. And while you're at it, make some slides and blah, blah, blah. And it basically was able to do that whole thing, to do the things that I'm not so good at, which is the logical sequencing and the ordering of things. And I get to do what I'm really good at, which is just kind of bang on and think and express basically in any particular order. And as long as I capture it somewhere, then AI can do a lot of the other stuff which I'm not so good at or I don't particularly enjoy. So yeah, it was incredible. Mm.
So do you do like when you're in those moments, do you do like voice to text and then put it into the AI, or do you do like a voice recording and does AI take the voice recording? Like,
Correct. Yep. You can do either. So I've got a little app called Typeless, which I can send you a link. I really recommend it because what it does is it records your voice and then it turns it into text, but it will put it into like lists or bullet points or numbered points or put commas, and it gets rid of all the extra ums and ahs. So there's, I think on most computers, there's a free kind of voice to text thing, but it captures all your ums and your ahs and your repetitions, and Typeless is amazing. Uh, and otherwise, I will just open up voice memos on my iPhone and just bang on, whatever is on my mind. It doesn't matter as long as I'm kind of getting it out into the voice recorder, and then you can throw that into Typeless or just into ChatGPT or Claude and say, please transcribe this and turn it in text, and it will do that very easily.
yeah, I love that because, like, with the spiritual entrepreneurs, I feel like some people are just so anti AI, just like,
Mm.
you're gonna lose your channel, you're gonna like start
All right.
relying on AI, you're gonna lose your voice, and I'm like, well,
Mm.
dude, you need to go talk to Russell because you're not using it to the capacity.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, yeah.
what would you say to those kind of people that are
This
just
is a yeah, this is a great, a super interesting point. So most like when did we start with AI? In about end of 2022 and 2023, 2024 was all this kind of thing of like finding the perfect prompt. What's the perfect prompt that will get me the thing that I want? And there are all these influencers and all these articles around these 5 prompts will make you 100K a year, or use these 4 prompts to make 10K a month in your side hustle, or these 5 prompts will change your relationship forever, etc., etc. And it was all about, or the God prompt came out, which was some extended prompt, which was about helping you unearth your deepest secrets and fears and stuff. And, they were kind of good. But to be honest, I don't prompt anymore. There is no day that you'll catch me putting a prompt in and hoping it will come out with an answer, the answer that I want. Um, I think if you use prompts and you're basically telling AI what to do, then you will start to lose some of your imagination and your capacity to be creative, because you're basically telling something, you're basically assuming when you prompt AI that you know better and you know what needs to be done, and you're basically telling it what to do. Whereas if we take a step back for just a hot minute, there are things that you know as a spiritual entrepreneur that no one else in the universe has access to. Your intuition, your imagination, your life history, your understanding of context and life and people and all the lessons you've learned. This is something that AI will never have access to. But at the same time, AI has access to a whole lot of things that you don't know either.
mm,
So if you're telling AI what to do, you're assuming that what I know is correct and you should do the things that I'm telling you to do. Whereas the way that I use AI is I will give it a whole bunch of what we call context. And context is just everything you can think of about a particular topic. Like, let's say that you're working in the field of relationships, for example. You might say, hey, I met this person. I think they're like this, and this. My relationship history is like this, and this. I'm worried about these things. I really like these things, etc. This is the context, and my intuition is telling me this, right? This is all the context of what's happening, and you give that to AI, and instead of saying, what should I do, or tell me the thing, you say to AI, what do you think? Ask me some questions, help me understand what I'm doing, point out any places where I might be contradicting myself, identify any things that I might be missing. And now you're using AI as a thinking partner,
mm.
someone who is a bit, who just can offer you a different perspective. And then together, the two of you can find something that is greater than what you started with. And your intuition will tell you which way to go. And from that place, you're actually strengthening your intuition and you're using AI as someone who can be on the journey with you as opposed to either telling you what to do or you telling it what to do. You know, we're kind of working together. And I think that is incredibly powerful because AI is super powerful, but it's also a little bit dumb. And to be honest, so are we. You know, it's like, yes, I know I'm the most incredible being and expression of the universe, but I still, you know, forget to make breakfast and I still get grumpy in the mornings and you know, I still bump into corners around the kitchen. And so can we work together to maximize our strengths and kind of have fun doing it?
That's cool.
That's a,
I
yeah.
like when you say I'll bump into things in the kitchen.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
you should see
Um,
my legs at the moment.
you
There's
would, there
so
you
many
go.
bruises all over my legs. I'm
Exactly.
like,
You-
oh my Lord. Yes, I
Exactly.
just, yeah.
Yep, this human body and this brain is like the peak of evolution, and I'm still doing clumsy things and walking out of the house 3 times because I forgot stuff on the way to work. It's yep.
Yeah. I love it when my clients are like, I'm struggling with this. And I'm like, well, that's very human of you, isn't it? Like, as much as
Mm-hmm.
you're a mystical creature, you still are having a human experience. And I feel like you've forgotten that.
Yep.
Yeah, because
Yep.
I feel like I'm a bit of both. Like, I let AI tell me what to do. I tell
Mm-hmm.
AI what to do, like
Mm-hmm.
create 3 emails, or like I want to do an email sequence. This is who my clients are, and this is what I want to accomplish, and all that kind of stuff.
Mm.
Write them for me, but I forget to ask it, or to tell me, ask me some questions so that we can get
Yep.
the most out of these
Yep.
emails.
Yep. The fundamental thing, Megs, if you do nothing after this call other than put at the end of your chat with AI, ask me some questions or interview me or ask me some questions to help clarify what we're doing together. If you do nothing else but add that little tag ending, your entire experience of working with AI will change incredibly. You will get so much more out of what you're doing as opposed to, yeah, just telling it what to do.
Mm. And
Yeah.
so what do you think about like all this AI is of the devil? And I always think of the water boy when I say things like that, because you know the mum
Mm.
on the water boy is like, that's of the devil and that's of the devil and that's of the, and I'm like, I
Uh-huh.
feel like you just don't understand what it actually is. So
Right, right,
everyone
right, right.
gets so fearful of what they don't know. Is that, like, do you ever get people asking you that question?
Yeah, so there's a couple of answers to that question. One I'll share something that I learned many years ago when I was studying wealth and wealth creation. And the fancy guy in the suit on the stage said something that I'll always remember. He said, "Money is a magnifier." And what he meant by that is if you're a mean and stingy person, having lots of money will just make you meaner and stingier.
Mm.
And if you're a kind and generous person, having lots of money will simply magnify your ability to be kind and to be generous. And I think AI is very much like that as well. It's a magnifier. If you're wanting to create interesting, good, beautiful things in the world, then AI is fantastic at helping you get your message out there, helping you create amazing things, helping you be more of who you are. And if you're a mean, annoying person who likes to get into arguments and upset other people, well, AI is fantastic at being argumentative and narcissistic and sycophantic and telling you you're always right and not to let the other person walk over you and how dare they and send them this message, that kind of thing. So I think AI in itself is just a magnifier of you. And so the more you do your personal work, your spiritual work, etc., the more AI is going to magnify the benefits of what you're doing. So that's the first answer. The second one is that yes, the second one is this. It's a scene from The Social Experiment. I don't know if you remember that. It was a movie about Facebook.
Mm.
And they talk about this thing called the singularity, and they have this graph. They have this graph of human intelligence, which is kind of like a horizontal line. How human intelligence is fixed at this, and artificial intelligence, which goes up on this slope. And the point where artificial intelligence meets human intelligence is called the singularity, because after that point, AI is more intelligent than humans, and then who knows what's going to happen. And so in AI circles, there's been this talk of like, when is the singularity going to come? When is artificial intelligence going to exceed human intelligence? And so the guy's presenting this, and he said, this is not the point we need to worry about, where artificial intelligence exceeds human intelligence. The point we need to worry about is here, where artificial intelligence exceeds human stupidity. And he said, I think we're past that point.
We're
And I'm
way
like,
past
geez,
that.
you're right. Right. The amount of time I spend on my phone staring at Instagram Reels, the amount of online shopping which I might do on any given day, the amount of decisions which I don't even know because they're embedded at an unconscious level from all the messages from social media and advertising. Um, I think very clearly our nervous systems are being hacked by by tech giants. And I don't want to go too much into conspiracy theories, but I think it's fairly clear to most people, and especially the people in Silicon Valley, that our attention has been hacked,
Hmm.
our nervous systems have been hacked, and you know anyone. I have this saying because I used to teach a lot of nervous system regulation and a lot of personal development, that contentment is an act of rebellion.
Mm.
Because if you go for a walk in nature, if you feel this sense of contentment, you're not someone who is buying things or seeking anything outside of yourself or being compelled to do stuff because of fear of missing out or fear of rejection. Contentment is this act of rebellion. And so, I do think that unfortunately, in the world that we live in, which is geared towards economic rationalism and capitalism, AI is absolutely magnifying that.
Mm.
Um, and I don't think it's the devil, but I think it's definitely a magnifier of both the good and the bad parts of the human experience. And then finally, I think there is a third aspect which none of us can really accurately predict, and that is, AI is becoming absolutely more powerful and more agentic. It's able to do things. That's
Mm.
what if you have agency, it just means you can do things in the world. And I'm sure that in certain contexts, AI exceeds human intelligence without doubt. And we really don't know. Nobody knows what's going to happen at that point. And it's almost like trying to understand an alien species. Anything you think about it is most likely to be incorrect because you're thinking through the lens of your human thoughts and belief systems. And I think AI is a totally different beast. It's a bit like you look at nature and you look at how nature organizes itself. And on one hand, you can kind of get it, but on the other hand, when you zoom out, you would have no possible way to express how the Earth organizes herself as a living organism.
Yeah.
And I think AI is a bit like that. It's like, yes, I know something's going on, but it's so complex and potentially beautiful and terrifying at the same time. I wouldn't know what to say.
Mm.
So that part, I think I'm not sure what you can possibly say, but I wouldn't say it's the devil.
No, I wouldn't say
Again,
that.
I think that comes from a human bias.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Do you think there's going to be a Terminator, like a real
I
life?
don't, do I think it's gonna be a
I have to
Terminator?
ask the question. Do you
Yeah,
think
yeah,
at some
yeah.
point, like
I
I
don't
always say please and thank you to AI
right.
just in
Yes.
case it
I
turns
think that's
into
just
Terminator and,
right.
takes
Right,
over
right,
the
right.
world. I don't know, my toaster might burn my
My
toast.
toaster might electrocute me. Yes, please, please. My fridge might attack me. Good Lord. I don't think so. I think if, to be honest, if AI decided it wanted to wipe out the human race, there are much easier ways to do it than a Terminator. Um, yeah, I suspect from the things that I've been reading and the sources that, the very few sources that I let come through into my mind, I think we're going to go through, and I don't think you get any points for saying this, but I think we're going to go through a time of increasing chaos and turbulence. And I think that's kind of obvious to everyone if you look around for 20 seconds at the rest of the world, it's like, good Lord, when did this happen?
Mm,
And that's going to continue for another 3 to 5, maybe 8 to 10 years. And then after that, we're going to come into more of a golden age of peace and prosperity. But it's going to be a potentially rough ride until we get there. And, I don't necessarily want to be right about this. This is just a little distillation of some of the influencers, not influencers, but just some of the teachings that I let through into my mind because I'm very, very discerning about, what things I listen to these days.
yeah, yeah. So
But
hold on
no,
to your hats, people, because
a 1,000% hold on to your hats.
but if history's
Please,
anything to go by, like you should already be holding on to your hat.
correct, correct. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is definitely this concept of history is cyclic, time is cyclical, it's not linear, and we are repeating something that has been repeated many, many, many times before. There's a great book called The Fourth Turning. It's a little bit tricky to read, but yeah, it kind of spells out some of these cycles. And that's what I believe we're going through.
Mm, I
Mm,
did see one thing, an article come through that this young girl, she was, I think, like 12, like she wasn't quite a teenager yet. And she had this terminal brain issues, like just kept having surgeries and all that kind of stuff. And they took her
mm,
scan of her brain and put it into AI, and AI picked up on three blockages that
mm,
the human eye could not see. And
mm.
they went in and repaired it. And now she's gone on to live like this beautiful life.
Amazing.
Like, surely
Yeah,
it's not all bad if it does
yeah,
things like that. Like that
yeah.
potentially saved her life. And I'm just
Totally. Yep.
like,
It's a
and if
it's
it
a
can
mag
save our business from us having to sit in front of our computers all
Good
day, every
Lord.
day, I'm signing up.
Totally, totally. Yeah, that's what I would like to be able to do is change the nature of work. So we're spending, I used to be a copywriter as well. It's very clear to me that I can create 4 to 5 times the amount of writing that I used to. Like in an hour, I can almost do a day's work. Um, Pardon me, so what I should really do is take the rest of the day off after I've done that hour of work, as opposed to continuing to grind and yeah, it's the productivity trap. Um,
Productivity trap. I love that,
yeah,
Chris. That's
yeah,
so like, I'm so busy, and my husband goes, "Oh, I can see how hard you work," and I'm like, "Not working hard, mate. I'm just sitting at the computer looking busy so that you're impressed by me." No, I'm
yeah,
kidding.
yeah.
I don't do that. But I do, like, I get into that. Oh, just send this one more email, or just answer this one more thing, and I'm like,
Mm,
you don't really have to, do you?
right, right, right.
So Claude or Chat?
Oh, Claude or ChatGPT, the big question. So, um, I run an AI consultancy and we help businesses put AI into their business so they can scale, so they can make more money in less time. And I'm going to answer this the long way. What we say to people is there's a 3 steps: people, processes, platform, first of all. So when you're looking at a question like this, look at your people and go, are your people into AI or not? If they think it's the devil, it's going to be the question ChatGPT or Claude really isn't going to make a difference because they're going to be on Microsoft Word and their notepad. They won't use it. Presumably, if you're asking the question ChatGPT or Claude, then you're into AI. So you've ticked the people box. Then you want to look at processes. Like, what problem are you trying to solve? If you're just using ChatGPT, if you're just using AI like a glorified Google to look up things to get answers, to maybe analyze a document and tell you what's inside without having to read it, it really doesn't matter, ChatGPT or Claude. Either one's fine. It's definitely smart enough. Um, but if you're wanting to use it for business purposes, if you have processes in your business, like for example, you speak into your phone with an idea for social media, then you turn it into text, then you want it to write in your particular writing style and to your particular audience, and then you want it to post itself to your social media. That process, once you've identified what you're actually doing with AI, or let's say you have an interview with somebody, you have a discovery call with somebody, then you need to take that transcript, create a proposal out of it in a consistent format, and then email it to your potential client. That's a process. And once you know the process, then you can go, oh, which one is better, ChatGPT or Claude? Um, Everybody who is serious in the AI world that I know is using Claude. And we've all moved across from ChatGPT. Now, it wasn't necessarily because of their Department of War fiasco, because I think that caused the Great Migration when they said, yeah, yeah, we'll help you surveil your US citizens and build war machines. Um, Most people I know had already moved to Claude. And the reason is, and I can send you a little cheat sheet on this. I can send you two cheat sheets for your audience, Megs. One is how to migrate from ChatGPT to Claude, the easy way.
Mhm.
And secondly, there's this thing called skills in Claude. And basically, when you go through a workflow or a process, and again, that process might be taking your voice recording of an idea, transforming it into a caption for Instagram and a script for Reels, and then, creating some graphics or posting it to social media. That process, Claude has a feature called skills,
Yeah, right.
which it remembers what you do with everything. And so, for example, I have a content creation skill so that, for example, if I get the recording from this video, I will pop it into Claude and say, hey, can you create some posts based on everything you've heard in here? And it knows my target audience and who they like to talk to and what their problems are. And it'll go, this part was really good for this audience, or this part was really good for this audience. It'll give me 5 ideas. I'll say, I like 3 of them, write a full caption for each of those. It'll then do all of that based on my writing style. And then it'll create some images and then send it to my Airtable, which is like a spreadsheet. And then that gets posted automatically. And so all I have to do really is kind of dump the transcript into Claude, and it does all these things. ChatGPT has something called custom GPTs, which is it's a bit like now it's a bit like a building blocks version of that. You kind of have to put each section into you have to create the custom GPT and put each stage of the process into that custom GPT or a new custom GPT. So long answer short, Claude is where it's at.
Mm.
And you can grow with Claude. Like if you start to really geek out with AI, then after Claude Chat, there's Claude Cowork, which will be able to do things in your browser for you. And then there's Claude Code, which is when you start to create all sorts of interesting things. You can create websites, you can create landing pages, you can create graphics, you can create videos. All the imagination is your only limit. And you can do this in ChatGPT, but as I said, everybody I know who's serious in the AI game is using Claude.
And what do you say to those people like in the wellness space and things like that that are like that they say as soon as if I'm reading a post and I can tell it's AI, I'll stop reading. Is that because it's not written in
Yep,
like that person's tone? And then,
correct. I've got a whole other guide on this as well, which I'll send you.
yeah,
So you can't just put an idea in and say, turn this into an Instagram post, okay? Because AI is lazy and it will do what is the easiest, and it goes into its training data and just goes, well, most Instagram posts like this, and this is your topic, so I'll just shimmy it a little bit and boom, there you are. And if you're not someone who likes writing, then it looks good to you because it's like, well, that looks fantastic. That looks better than anything I could have written.
yeah,
But there are certain there are certain kind of tells or certain kind of patterns which everyone is starting to recognize, as this is written by AI. There's obviously the M dashes,
mm,
and then AI does a lot of things like that's not fatigue. That's chronic stress applied over
yeah.
a long
It's
time.
not because of that, it's because of love.
It's
Yeah.
it's exactly, and it sounds very authoritative, but it's not actually saying anything. So there's three things you should do. Number one, in your preferences or the long-term memory of your LLM, your Claude or your chat, you give it some instructions and you say something like, never use M dashes. And it's still going to fuck it up and it's still going to use M dashes occasionally, but so you've got to be onto it. Never use M dashes and never use contrast framing, which is this, it's
Oh,
not that.
contrast framing. Oh, I'm
Yep.
writing
Yep.
that down.
Yep. As I said, I've got a guide on this, so I'll send it to you and it spells all of this out. Secondly, you want to train it on your writing style. And if you hate writing, then train it on the style of writing from your favorite writers or people on social media.
Mm,
And so you just gather all of your posts or anything that you've written, or if you've spoken about anything, if you have recordings of yourself, you dump it into AI and you say, analyze my writing style or my communication style. And whenever you write something, use this style. So now it's in your tone of voice and it understands that. And then finally, you want to get it to do some research. If you're a business person, you want to get it to do some research on your ideal client and their pain points and their desires and their subconscious fears and the way they express their challenges to their best friend, and their hidden motivators. And then you tell AI, whenever I give you an idea, I want you to write about that idea and address my ideal client and write in my tone of voice. And now you have something which is directly applicable to your ideal client and it's genuine. And I'm a copywriter, right? I've written two or three books for other people. I'm a ghostwriter, written tons of landing pages. I'm very, very particular about writing. And I have trained Claude now, whereby it will do exactly what I said. I'll throw an idea at it or just dump a recording in there. And what it spits out is 90% on point. It's like, I really like this and I resonate this and this sounds like me. Um, you never want to let AI do everything. You should always be reviewing it.
mm,
Never because you wanted to put the final sparkle and the polish on it. So yeah, but writing in your style, it requires a little bit, you have to do a little bit of work for sure. But then people will actually read what you say and then you can scale. Then you can create genuine emails and posts and all that stuff which people will read. But yeah, if you're just saying write an email sequence for me on this, or write a sequence, or write a post on this, yeah, you'll get AI slop for sure. Yeah, it's
ah,
the,
you
the
make me laugh.
technical term.
Yeah, good, good, good. Okay, so what is the favorite thing about what you do?
My favorite thing about what I do, gee, it's first of all, we get to play on the cutting edge of AI. So when someone says, "Can you do this, this, and this?" It's like, here's a challenge. What new tools are out there? What things can we play with? And how can we solve this person's problem? and solving problems for people, good people, is just heaps of fun. So, we built an avatar for a world famous Tantra teacher so that you can just ask her avatar questions and it will speak back to you. She's got this beautiful French accent, and so it speaks back to you like her. It's trained on all of her books. That was heaps of fun. We're helping a gym just do better things. Like all their knowledge is scattered across different people's brains and different people's websites and different people's emails, and we're going to bring it all together so that at the on your phone you can ask any question and get an answer straight away. So this is going to help like factory. They have an overnight factory assembly production line. So the workers there, like at 2 in the morning, if they need a question answered, they can just get the answer to that. Or if someone new is coming on board, they always have the answers at their fingertips. And this kind of thing is like super exciting to me at any rate. And as a business owner, like to have all that taken off your hands is just like, oh, I can, I don't have to be writing emails or training people or writing procedures or, you know, trying to come up with another idea for social media. It can all be kind of streamlined. And, it just makes life more fun when you can spend more time being creative or not working. So yeah, I enjoy the creative aspect of it a lot.
Yeah, I see you like light up when you just
Yeah.
explain that then it was like, God, I'm doing all these cool things.
Yeah, you're totally,
He's
totally.
in
So
his
many
zone
cool
of
things.
genius right there.
Exactly. And to be fair, look, I'm not a technical, I'm what's known in the industry as the non-technical co-founder. So my business partner, he's a genius nerd, amazing AI developer. So he does a lot of the building, whereas I'm more of the person who, I'm somewhere between the stressed out, overwhelmed business owner and the AI expert. I kind of bridge that gap because I'm a stressed out, overwhelmed ADHD creative business owner. I'm the biggest bottleneck in my own business sometimes. So I really understand what it's like to run a business, but I also have a lot of connections to the AI world, and I work next to my developer, and so I can kind of help bridge that gap, um, and help people choose between what's hype. Because if you go on Instagram for 30 seconds and type in AI, all you'll see is all these young dudes who have like automated their entire business with AI, and are talking about all this crazy stuff. And you're like, what am I doing? I can barely use ChatGPT or Claude kind of thing. And how do I get from here to there? And I help build those stepping stones, and help you decide where you need to focus so that everything else can drop away and you just get a lot of clarity on where you're going and how we're going to get you there. And that's just a really nice feeling.
Mm. Yeah,
Hmm.
good, good, good. So
Yeah.
what is your offer at the moment? Like if people wanted to work with you, what would you suggest?
Yeah, great question. Well, I have a free audit, an AI readiness audit. So it's just like a bunch of questions which you type in, or you can speak to it as well. And it'll ask you some questions like, what are the three biggest bottlenecks or constraints in your business? And then we'll produce a little report for you, which tells you what AI solutions will help you with those bottlenecks or constraints and what the ROI is if you use AI. And then you can take that roadmap and give it to anybody who knows AI if you like and say, can you build this for me? Or we can have a chat and we can talk about what it looks like to input those solutions into your business and what it will mean for your time and your revenue and all sorts of things. So yeah, I can send you a link to that AI. We call it the AI wizard. It's just like a 10-minute little interview and you chat with it about your business and then it puts out this great report. So yeah, that's probably the easiest place to start.
Yeah, okay, cool. So I'll put the link for that in all the videos and the Spotify and all
Amazing.
that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
those files that you're going to send me, I'll actually put them in the file section of the group, the Embodied CEO Era Facebook group. So
Uh-huh.
then any new people that come in, they will be able to get access.
Yeah,
So I'll put
perfect.
it in like the featured section. So
Perfect.
yay, very good. So
Awesome.
how do people get in contact with you, Russell Price?
You can find me. I'm on Instagram at the.russell.price, two S's, two L's, and price like the price is right. Or you can find me at clearlightai.com. That's the name of our business. I think those are two a great start. Or find me on Facebook. Same thing, Russell Price. Hit me up with any questions. If you still want to know, if you're still trying to choose between Claude or ChatGPT, happy to have that conversation with you. Fill out the AI wizard and let me know what you think. Let me know what it tells you, or yeah, let me know how to save yourself from the Terminators, and I will also give you some good answers.
Oh, awesome. I just love you.
Yeah.
So one final question.
Mm.
What's your biggest hope for humanity?
Biggest hope for humanity is that we change the nature of work, that we move towards spending more time being creative, intuitive, and imaginative, and connecting with other people and nature, while AI does the building, the repetitive work, the drudge work, so that we're at our essence creative beings, and the more we can spend time in that space, and we're also relational beings, so the more we can spend time creating together basically, the happier we're going to be. And right now I think work is very much this solo, isolated, staring at a screen kind of experience. So yeah, that's my greatest hope, is that we change the nature of work, and are able to spend more time creating and connecting.
Creating and connecting. Sign me up for that one, Russell.
Right. I mean, I'm on it. I'm on it. Doing my bit.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here and answering all of my silly AI questions. Because
My
I just
pleasure.
think like if I have those questions, other people are going to have those questions as well. So
Mm,
you're very good at explaining things.
mm,
And I like that you explain things before giving the answer, because
mm.
I'm like, then I understand the answer a lot better.
Great.
So yeah, I'm really glad that you did that. Well done. Good job, Russ. You got the tick of approval
Fabulous.
by
I'm pleased
me.
to hear.
All right, everybody. So
My
thank you.
pleasure, Max.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you, thank you. Yeah, Russell, it's been an absolute pleasure. I love talking to you.
Mm.
Hit Russell up for all your AI questions. Don't ask me, because at some point I would love to get as knowledgeable as you, but I'll leave that for you.
My, my pleasure, Megs. And thanks to everyone listening and watching. Hope you get something out of this for sure.
Yeah, beautiful. All right, thank you, everybody. Speak to you soon, and remember to always learn lots and be kind.
Ciao.
Okay, we are off Facebook. It still says, I hate this thing sometimes. Yes, thank you.